Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another manga review. We've got the best question arc in my opinion today, Tatarigoroshi, and obviously it was a really good experience rereading this. I mean, my god, this is the most heavy chapter in the question arcs, it is the most brutal, and it is the embodiment of a worst case scenario. But it was really fun. And especially because of the fact that Tatarigoroshi's visual novel OST, I think it easily has the best OST of the entirety of the question arcs. So there's a wide variety of songs to listen to, and also there's so many that make the dramatic moments of the story, especially near the end, better. I mean, a really good example is the Snow Part 3 and 4 songs. Those ones are so good. This manga was a bit odd because in the beginning, I didn't really, like in the first volume, I didn't think the most of the art style, but then I think it really improved when everything got dark and everything became very unpleasant in chapter 2. It was a bit weird because I thought, I wasn't really expecting the most for the art in chapter 2, but then we got some really nice expressions, and I think, oh my god, Katie's anger was done so well. And to be fair, I think I know the ending of Tatarigoroshi really well, but I don't know the beginning well. So it was nice to look into this. And the really funny thing I was kind of noticing about Tatarigoroshi is this story is literally the opposite of Onikakushi. So obviously in Onikakushi, Keiichi finds clues that will make him believe that his friends are potentially plotting something against him, and also this village is dangerous and he's an outsider, so obviously he will have risk of having something really bad happen to him. But I remember in the beginning of Tatarigoroshi when Keiichi gets lost from his friends because they play that hilarious prank where they make him stuck up really high up on a tree. I mean, I think if Keiichi didn't find that as a joke, didn't think of that as a joke like all of the other ones did, I mean, that would really not be good. But yeah, anyway, he meets Tomitake, and then they obviously talk a little bit about the fact that there was a dismembered body there and one of the arms was missing, and he did not believe it. He didn't have within it wasn't within him to be able to believe something like that. So that means that all of the events that could have happened in Onikakushi couldn't have been caused just because of that. And there were some other examples that happened as well. And I mean, I suppose you could say that the really horrible parts of the scenario, I mean, Keiichi goes insane for his friends rather than against his friends as well. And it was just really quite interesting to notice that. It was fun to see a lot of the slice of life scenes as well. They were done really quite well. I found that in the manga though, if you guys have read the visual novel, you'll know that scene where the class have a curry cooking contest and Keiichi makes something that isn't curry and then he tries his hardest to justify why he should win, and obviously all of that stuff with putting your heart into food, and yeah, I think he gets second in the end, or I can't remember if he gets first, but he gets a really high place just for the words that he used and how much he put his heart into it. That wasn't there in the manga, which I was really quite sad about. But I suppose we did have the lunch scene, so that was nice. And yeah, obviously the scene where Keiichi nearly burns his house down. I just think it's really quite funny that the themes established in the slice of life. So I suppose Keiichi's closeness to Satoko, and also I suppose Keiichi acting as if he is an older brother to Satoko. I mean, my god, they are really significant when everything goes to turmoil, and that's what I really like about the slice of life. I mean, sometimes it doesn't really have the most contribution to the story, rather than just being quite fun to read. But at the same time, it feels like in all of the question arcs, it really does. And definitely in Tsumi Horoboshi as well. So, I'll tell you what, now that I know the mystery that goes on, and I kind of know the solution, oh my god, reading the day where, as Keiichi puts it, Hinamizawa goes insane, that was so cool. And obviously seeing Keiichi's descent into madness, I love that as well. That was really well done. But the coolest thing was seeing just kind of learning the truth in a way to everything that went on, because obviously at first Keiichi believes that his friends are kind of trying to overwhelm him, his friends are telling the truth and he is in two places at once. He doesn't once suspect that the friends are lying about the fact that they're trying to lie that he's drunk loads of alcohol in the party, so his memories are all distorted, even though he clearly remembers killing somebody. And like in Onikakushi, I think the friends make a big mistake. I really wonder, if the friends hadn't have made that mistake, would Keiichi have reached a level of Hinamizawa syndrome that's as bad as the one he reached? Look, genuinely, I don't think he would have. His friends trying to... Well, what his friends did is they tried to move the body. I think Mion moved the body like they did in Tsumihoroboshi. And, they were just trying to make Keiichi convinced that he hasn't actually killed anybody. And, I mean, I suppose they are trying to do a thing for his sake, but then it just results in everything going to turmoil. It really does. And, God, Keiichi's progression into insanity. I think that's just the cool thing, because obviously he did all of the crimes in this so that he could restore the past days that he had. And I just find it so cool that in this chapter, like, the more you go through it, the more you just realise how unrealistic the restoration of the past is, really, because obviously Keiichi's going insane, Satoko's really, really scarred, and my God, there were some parts, I mean, especially, I think there were some parts for Satoko that were absurdly cruel. I mean, I'll never forget that scene when she was in the bath with the boiling water. And by the way, I think she hallucinated Tepe, and that's kind of why she saw him the day after. God, that day after. I mean, it was a little less weird because I knew the answer, but yeah, my God, I'll never forget how I felt when reading the visual novel. Anyway, also what's cool about this manga is I loved how unrealistic Keiichi is in this, and how much he acts off instinct, because I remember when he was talking to Takano and Tomitake, it was so... he was kind of at the point where he could return, but he was... he showed Tomitake to the shrine, and then he asked Takano whether it's likely that... I don't know... a certain person can be chosen as the victim of Oyashiro-sama's curse. I remember that analogy, her saying Oyashiro-sama is like Santa in the way that anybody can become her. And I just love that Keiichi, he just finds any excuse in any way to justify the fact that he can murder somebody. And also, because this is the thing, I mean, Keiichi's a really, really good person. I get that he did shoot somebody, I know, but he's learned from it, and now he's really, really changed, even if that person is really scarred. But what I'm trying to say is he's such a good person, and to see him be driven to do something so bad, I mean, it just shows how helpless they are in the situation. It really does. And there's so many times where I remember the times where he's just so acting on emotion that he's just totally not thinking about everyone else in the room. Like that scene where he totally argues with his friends when he learns what's happened to Satoko. It just really shows that he's just not thinking straight. And the amount of flaws that were present when he was actually doing the murder as well, that's something that's really interesting. Like, I'll never forget, for example, he didn't even think of where to do the phone call. And what was it? He went back home, and then he went to the site of the murder again because I think it was because he couldn't find the shovel. Sorry, he couldn't find the place where he originally buried Tepe, so he did that whole entire digging process again. But yeah, it's just interesting. I never really noticed that before, but well, I think I did, but it's become a lot more emphasized to me now. And yeah, I think overall in this manga adaptation, my favourite scene was when Keiichi and Takano met. I mean, my God, that was so dark. And I think, look at the action in this scene. The murder, it's done really well. My webcam's a bit crap, so you can't see it, but yeah. It's done really well. And also, I think what's kind of cool about this chapter here, you remember when I was talking about Katie being a good person who's just driven to do something like this because of how hopeless he is? Another part where he really acts on emotion is where he obviously tries to help Satoko, and he pats her on the head, and then obviously that really unpleasant school scene happens. I mean, I just find it so interesting that you just saw, it was just as if something else had been totally locked, and then it had just gone off within him. Something totally changed, and that sudden change, there was this really annoying scene. That scene in the visual novel where he says that he's going to kill him in 25 minutes or 1,500 seconds. I mean, look at this. This is just a scene. It's a whole of text. All of this is text that you read, and you read it vertically, like you would with Japanese text. And it's just showing Keiichi's mind and it fully being converted to something that is just filled with hatred. And I didn't really like how that scene was presented, but at the same time I think it's cool for just seeing how angry he is and how much he leads to this, because I think the scariest thing about this chapter is how realistic it is, and how there are so many people who would probably be in the same situation who would do the same. But if I'm going to be honest, that's what makes Higurashi so good. A lot of the times the killers are really realistic for their motives, and it's just part of the reason why it's so scary, to be honest. But anyway, I really enjoyed Tatarigoroshi, and next we are reading Himatsubushi. So, yeah, it's really unusual with these manga volumes, because firstly they both have Rika on the manga openings, and they're really similar as well. I wish they were less similar. I kind of wish Akasaka was on one of them, but yeah, I hope this is going to be fun. We've got a new artist for this as well, and these manga volumes look really short, which I think is a really good thing. I'm very excited for the manga after, which is Yoigoshi, and after I've done Yoigoshi, I'm going to do the Onisarashi manga, which is basically like an edition of Kageboshi and Someusushi, kind of in one, I've heard. I'm really excited for those, because I'm going to read the manga while listening to the console arcost, the Higurashi Matsuri Yost. So it's going to be really fun. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next review.